high school basketball and its history. I'm Patrick O'Donnell, and I'm going to be your host. And I'm here today at St. George's High. St. George's, the #1 viewed school on the St. Matthew channel, with over 1,000 views for 2 games this year, Appo and Howard, and also the most viewed highlight reels, Nishan Bones Highland, 2,800 and 2,100 respectively. And I'm here today to pay thanks to you guys and also to interview Coach Griff. And we're going to be back with Griff right after this. Welcome to Don't Laugh at Practice, folks, a show about Delaware high school basketball and its history. I want you to welcome my guest today, Coach Griff. Give it up for Coach Griff.
Yeah, all right. Thank
All right. Now, Coach Griff, you have been at St. George's how long?
Since 2007.
2007. So you were actually, they opened in 2006.
Yep.
So you're basically almost the first coach.
Yeah, the second coach.
Second coach.
So when they first opened up, they had a formulating a program, and J.D. Mall kind of coached everything, football, basketball, and then they actually, because it was JV then,
right.
In the first year of varsity, they hired John French.
Right, and I know John French, as we were saying, small world. The guy we just saw Jamie Zazinski out in the hallway, and Jamie and I used to play at Frames Boys Club all the time, where Frenchie was the he was the director.
So I did freshman basketball for maybe 3 or 4 years, and then Frenchie moved on, and I've been here ever since then.
Now, you're originally from New Jersey, right?
Yeah, we came out of New Jersey. Originally, I born in Virginia, but moved this way when I was young, and a military family. So.
Oh, okay. Well, your dad was a Marine or Army. Okay.
Don't curse at me like that. No, he was in the Army.
Okay.
He was in the Army.
Army.
Yeah, go Army. Navy. No, he was an Army.
Sorry, Jack Rush.
Yeah, how about that? He was an Army aviator. So
Army aviator.
He did his 20 years, then retired, and went on to become a commercial pilot.
And where did you play your high school ball?
I played all over, because you're moving Virginia, because we had roots there, with a lot of family, and then I was in Boston.
Wow! So you've been all around.
Been all around, and so just one of those where you ask military brats where you're from, they don't really know.
Right,
So
right. I understand.
Like my kids, my son was born in North Carolina, and my daughter was born in New Jersey.
Oh, wow!
That's because every three years, you get, the Army says you got to move your family and go to a new assignment.
Right. Now, what eventually brought you here to Delaware?
The cost of living.
Cost of living. That's a good point. Very good point.
I'll be honest, we were living in New Jersey, paying a lot of money in taxes,
right.
A lot of money in insurance, automobile insurance, and my brother-in-law moved here, and he was like, you should check Delaware. I said, man, I don't know, man, about
First date.
Yeah, so we were not really, didn't know much about it.
Right.
I knew I had family here, and he had moved from Jersey, so from Philly to Jersey to here, to Tri-State, and he decided, he said, hey, this is nice, and we came down, kept coming down, and originally I was gonna move to Mariners Watch. Okay. And then I asked the lady, I said, well, what's the best school district? And she said, Appo. I said, well, where's that? And she said, Middletown, about 20 minutes south of here. I said, well, switch my deposit over there. She said, well, you never been there. I said, that's okay. You said that's the best school district? And that's how we got here.
Wow, that's a great story. I like that.
Yes. Yeah. So my daughter.
And you've been here now since, how many years of coaching now?
Here at St. George's,
12 years?
Yeah, since 07.
12 years, and we have 2 second place finishes.
Yep.
In the tournament.
2014 and 2016.
We've had some really great highlights out of St. George's players. Nishan Bones Highland is going to
VCU.
VCU.
He's there now.
All right, good job. Good job, Bones.
He had a lot of good offers. Michigan was here, UConn.
I think St. Joe's was looking at him when
St.
Martelli was
Joe's,
there, right? And then
Temple.
Martelli ended up leaving.
When Martelli left, that kind of changed that equation.
Right.
Aaron McKee was here a lot to see Bones.
That's
So
good.
he had a lot of good choices.
That's good. That's good.
But he's
and now,
at Ram Nation right now.
all right. And Kyson Rawls,
Yes.
Murray State, right?
Morgan State.
Morgan State.
And
Morgan State.
Baltimore.
And last year, I believe he played 15, 20 minutes a
Yes, he
game,
did.
averaged about 5 points as a sophomore, right?
Yes.
All right, so look for Kyson this year. He'll be a junior.
Yeah.
Probably be stepping up into a bigger role there.
Yep.
And your other star was Lamar Hammer.
Yes. University of Detroit Mercy is where he's at. So
He
he's
had Detroit Mercy, so look out for Lamar.
This is his last year. So he did a couple years at San Jack down in Texas.
Yes.
And then Mike Davis brought him up to Detroit Mercy with him.
Okay, cool. Where's Michael McCants going?
Wolverines, Wesley.
Wesley Wolverines.
Going,
And
yeah.
you should know also that I'm a graduate of Wesley College, and I played for the Wesley Wolverines. In fact, here, take a look at this. Here's a shot right here of something I did. Okay, go Wesley Wolverines.
Mm-hmm.
Now, by any chance, have you seen Basketball or Nothing on Netflix?
I haven't seen any basketball.
I should have
On
texted
Netflix.
you. I just watched this Basketball or Nothing.
No.
It's a documentary on Netflix, and it follows high school basketball in Arizona on a Indian reservation, and how they're playing for the state championship.
Wow.
They end up going pretty far. I won't give away any
Okay.
spoilers.
All
But
right.
the thing I wanted to talk to you about was there was a guy named Coach Mendoza. Is a guy whose philosophy, as I watched this, I really, really liked it. Really liked Coach Mendoza.
Okay.
He preached patience
Yep.
so much. Now, first thing that I want to do is get your view on patience, because I think patience is so key to basketball.
Patience from a player perspective or coaching perspective?
Give it from a player's perspective
Okay.
first, because I can tell you about a coach's
Okay.
perspective again.
Well, for me, I always tell the players, especially the point guard, patience, smartness is what you got to have. And I tell the guards, look, good guards initiate tempo, great guards change the tempo.
Right.
And so I want them to be patient and get what we want on every single play. And I would say we had a lot of success with that philosophy over the years, especially with Kyson Rawls. He was a bulldog.
He also had, in fact, anybody who does this move ought to pay him a quarter, because he had this patented move of when he is being ridden as he's going up court,
Yeah.
he kind of puts his back up, and I've seen a couple of guys do it, and you're stealing from him,
Yeah.
but it would amaze me how many times that he would get that call.
Get that foul.
And get that foul call
That's
and
right.
get the line. And also, he's a very,
Yes.
very good foul shooter.
Yep.
Now, when patience as a player, what I would point out and what I learned, and I learned too late,
Right.
was that, for an example, when you get a rebound, you get the rebound, and sometimes right away you will take the rebound and you immediately go.
Yeah.
You immediately go. That's not being patient.
Right.
Because what is happening is that the defense usually takes one more spot, one more shot at it.
Right.
Okay, so that I learned that if I turned and waited a beat, then the guy who is my outlet,
Right.
because there's also a guy hanging out trying to make that play. If you're patient,
Yep.
you can see that. Then your man makes the move, and you can get the outlet pass to him. So that would be my example of patience.
That is also what we try to tell the players, is that if you make the defense play a little longer than they really want to,
Right.
we're going to find a gap. And
Right.
And that's patience.
Right.
But it's something that you got to talk all the time with the players.
Right, and that's what Coach Mendoza does. If you watch Basketball or Nothing, I liked it. It's not doesn't have all the heavy stories that are in Last Chance U, but it was a very six episodes, 30 minutes apiece, very good. And Coach Mendoza was always don't hurry, and preach patience. But also he was saying running with discipline.
Yeah, that's very important, because one of the things players have to understand is that you have lanes you got to run,
Right.
1 through 5. And
Right.
You got to know that once you run your lanes, it's not over. That's the beginning of the process.
Right.
You hustle down the court, and we always teach our players here at St. George's that you beat your man on the offensive transition and the defensive transition. We make sure of that.
Right. That was the idea, and Coach Mendoza said pretty much what I like to say, is he was like, beat the defense down court before they can get set up, and then you get a better shot. You know?
Absolutely true.
And that's running with discipline.
Yep.
Because if you run without discipline, ball ends up getting thrown away, and it just creates turnover. All right. Now I want to talk about, now you played back at what years, you think, like in high school? In the 80s?
Yes.
Okay. So your game was maybe similar to mine. I graduated St. Mark's in 1976, Wesley 78. And before the three-point line, I think the game was focused mainly, it was a circular type of an offense, but it mainly focused in the lane on the big men.
Yep.
Whereas nowadays, I think it's the opposite. I think it's out, you have the circling offense, but it's all based around the key.
I agree. When I played, my job as a point guard, as soon as the ball was rebounded, I would get the ball and run the break.
Right.
And our big guys would fill the secondary break, so we didn't get a break on the primary, and we would set it up, let our big guys get there, and we had some big guys that were pretty good, and they would come down, post up, and we pound it inside, and then if that was taken away, we had some good outside shooters.
Now, on the fast break, do you preach pushing the ball to the middle?
Yes, sir.
All right, because that's one of the main things that I see. So many players run that ball down the side of the court, and that just limits your options.
Correct.
Whereas if you dribble to the middle of the court, we would always say try to get inside the key or to the foul line. You do not have to get any farther than the foul line. If you can get right in there into the key, then you've got two guys cutting down here. Then you also have two people that you have trailers as well.
That's right.
Which really helps the fast break.
We work on that quite a bit, and each practice when we work on our fast break drill, we have with the 5 lanes, the primary with the 3 guys, and they run it for continuously for 1 minute. Over and over again, so they get used to running those lanes.
And that's so important. I think, I don't know if you kids understand how important drills are, because drills really, they do what they say. Yep. Drill it into you, so that you, when you are in that pressure situation, you will react as you were drilled. Your body is almost, I think, is in tune to that.
We have a lot of emphasis on drills and fundamentals because repetition builds skill and builds confidence. And then when you need it in a tough spot, we've already went through it many times. Right. So we do that a lot.
Now, I talked to you earlier about, it wasn't on camera, it was earlier, we were going over. He was in the championship game in 2014 and also 2016. Yep. Now, the 2014 game was against Sally's.
Correct.
And I told him that I looked at this at this one point in the game. I think it's less than a minute. Must be 40-some seconds.
Yeah, it was late in the game.
Late in the game.
Crucial moment.
Crucial. It's 47-43. Yeah. Now that's one thing you can like about Dante is missing foul shots, right? Because he kept on.
Right.
He left the door open.
Well, they shot 34 foul shots. They missed 20.
Yeah, they missed over and over again.
We only shot 10.
You only shot 10 foul shots that game?
They shot 34. Wow. They were 14 for 34. Wow. We only shot a total of 10 that game.
Right, and then the one that doesn't count is the one that I'm talking about, is because after Dante misses 2 free throws, then there is a foul, and St. George's goes to the line.
Quentin Hamrick went to the line.
Who was it?
Quentin Hamrick.
Quentin Hamrick is at the line, and he makes the foul shot.
He made the foul shot.
And I got to tell you, folks, I looked at it 3 or 4 or 5, 6 times before I could figure out what the violation was. Right. And it ended up being a call saying that I think Lamar was running into
for the rebound,
running into the lane. But if you look, and it's on the St. Matthew channel, only 60. I have it reworked. Maybe I'll put it up because it only has 65 views, whereas the other one's got over 1,700. The other championship game against Sanford. But of course it was much better taped, I will say that, because 14 was, I had a broken camera and everything else, and I was just trying to get it done. Yeah. So, but I'm going to show you that play. I'm going to put it up. Take a look at it. Okay, so they're going to take a look at it. So what happens is he is called for in the lane, but you can actually clearly see. I don't think he is actually to the key before the ball hits the rim, and that's the rule, right?
That is a rule. It was a crucial call and a crucial moment because at that time it would have been a 2-point game.
Yes.
The pressure had already swung.
He had already made the foul shot to make it 47-44. It makes another one that's 47-45, and they have to bring the ball in. So yeah, it makes it a total different, total swing of the game. Which is why, kids, you can't really sometimes be that upset when bad things happen, because there's 1,000 different reasons of why it went wrong, and if it doesn't go your way, it doesn't go your way. I was lucky enough one night to make a buzzer beater for Wesley. I showed you the headline earlier. And that's the way things sometimes come together. So have you ever been ejected from a game?
Never.
Never been ejected?
Never been ejected.
I was almost ejected. Almost ejected from a CYM game. I was coaching. Do you know Phil Hill?
Yep.
All right, so I'm coaching with Phil Hill, and my son is playing. He's in, I think, 8th grade, and he goes down and he draws what I believe is an offensive foul. All right, but he gets called for the foul, and I'm on the bench as the assistant coach, and I say, "Hey, are you kidding me?" Like that, right? I say, "Hey, are you kidding me?" Like I do that, right? I do that, and the ref turns around and goes, "You're out of here!" And so I get up and I start walking back, right? I start walking out, and the referee is all confused. He's confused, and Phil's going, "Come on, yeah," because he thought it was Phil.
Right.
He thought it was Phil because Phil said, "Hey, you kidding me a lot," and I do impressions. So that's what it ended up at. But they let me stay in the game. They didn't. Once he figured out, okay, it wasn't me, because I guess Phil was riding him about something else earlier. So once he figured out, okay, it was somebody different, I was able to sit down on the bench. I don't know if I guess the technical was called, but I wasn't thrown out. So I guess to end this, I just ask you if you have a favorite impression, an old actor or a president.
Favorite impression?
Yes.
That I can do?
No, I'll do it.
Oh, you do it? Eddie Murphy?
That's all I got. I got more, but I can't say. I'm not going to use it on this broadcast. Anybody else?
Bill Cosby?
Well, the greatest thing about St. George is the General Pudding.
I like it.
Yeah, I do a lot of impressions. You can at the Pat Comic Channel, and you can see me. I perform up in the Poconos and Doylestown's Comedy Cabaret, all over. So look for me out there. You can see me, and then also look for Coach Griff. He'll be this year at St. George's. How are we doing this year?
We're really young, so we got our work cut out for us, inexperienced, but we're going to work our butts off to remain competitive. And for the past 6 or 7 years, we've been blessed with talented players like Hamrick, Bones, and Kyson, Mike McCann. So this year is a transition year, and everybody has to go through that.
Right. Well, that's a big hole. That when you lose Deshaun Bones Highland, who's been, I guess, 4 years. Was he 4 years on the varsity?
Yes.
How many points did he score?
1,957.
1,957. Oh, just short of that 2,000. Wow.
Short. Yes.
That's something. So, but you have Kevin Payton is returning.
Very good.
You've got a nice Wright. I think his name is 5'5".
Yeah, we got Lamar Wright. We got Blake.
Blake Bryant. He's on the St. Matthew channel.
And we have Jake Shelton. So those are some good core guys that are returning with some experience. But we'll miss definitely Bones, McCants, and Ahmad, because we had 2 guys 6'5", 6'6", and Bones was just terrific in all phases of the game. But we're going to remain competitive, and
well, that's all you can do. You want try to keep it close. That's St. Mark's philosophy, by the way. I don't know if you know that or not. Just keep it close.
Yeah.
Don't get blown out. That was a philosophy.
I like that.
That was so. You're going to beat us, but you're not going to blow us out. Is what we used to have a philosophy of, which I wasn't totally tied into. And yeah, because I was the guy who wanted to go to St. Mark's and run the ball. And I was told, no, you can't run the ball. You'll get blown out. That's what I was told. That's my little Tommy Rose impression. You gotta get blown out. You gotta get blown out. So, and maybe someday we'll be able to talk and tell you the whole story about Don't Laugh at Practice. It does involve Tom. But until then, I'll see you again out on the road. You'll see Coach Griff at St. George's this year. And folks, thanks for tuning in to the first edition of Don't Laugh at Practice. I've been Patrick O'Donnell. This has been Coach Griff. God bless you. Thank you very much.